you out of earth.
Alexa off. Good God, guys. I can honestly tell you, I don't think I've ever been this nervous before a broadcast in my life. And it's because I'm realizing the largeness of the issues involved with the Liquor and Cannabis Board. Hi, Poppy. Thank you. Thank you for the stuff. Thank you. I'm realizing the largeness of the vessel that we're dealing with the Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board here, okay? Let's just get right to it. No. You go over there with that. Okay. Just make as much noise as you can, Puppy. That's good. Cynjo's writing me right now. I'm trying to invite Cynjo on if she has time. If not, I'll just do this myself. But hang on a second, guys. Okay? Cynjo says... Oh, she just got a reply back from Sam. Okay. All right, so she should be able to come on, and I'll try to bring her on. Sam just finally replied to her, okay? But, okay, here's the deal, guys, all right? And let's see if she's ready to come on yet before I continue with this, okay? But just remember this before I start checking the viewership. First off, Mom, oh God. I talked to my dad a couple nights ago about what I do, and he gets it, and I know Mama gets it too. All that education they paid for me and helped me get, this is what it's all about, you know, putting it to use and being honest and acting with integrity to ensure that our public officials are acting honestly and with some measure of integrity, and we're not seeing it, okay? A lawyer's obligation is to their client, period, okay? There's no two ways about that, and we're going to see how that plays out right now because, no, Puppy, I know, sweetheart, that just makes a lot of noise, though. All right, let's see. Okay, Cynjo is here. Let's see if I can bring her on. Okay, ready to be added. Come on. If I go there, your viewers, guest requests, Cynjo. Come on now. Oh God, no. Cynjo. Okay. Wait. Invite. Okay, I think she's here. Cynjo, are you here? Okay, well, thing is I'm running through the speaker though. Cynjo, can you talk? Well, they won't hear you. Dang it, I don't know how this is gonna work, but let's go unplugged. Cynjo, can you talk? Damn it. Oh man, I don't think I can do it. Okay, approve. Okay. Come on now. This sorry ass service. It's still adding her. What's taking so long? You gotta be kidding me. Add her. The guest declined. Cynjo, what are you doing? What are you doing, kid? Where are you going, honey? I'm here, okay? God. Invite. Okay. Cynjo, are you there? Okay. Approve. Yes. Approve. Adding. I don't know why it's doing this. This is crazy. God. Man, I'm just going to tell you what I got to tell you. This is fucking bullshit. All right. So listen, what we have here is a situation in which Cynjo Raylene Hall, I helped her in a criminal action that was brought by the Liquor Control Board against her. And she waived attorney-client privilege with Sam, her public defender, okay? And Sam Backman is his name. Let's show you him, okay? He's a newbie, class of 2020, Penn State, okay? So he's a newbie on the scene, trying to protect his license, trying to protect his way in the world. I get it, all right? So that was her public defender, okay? And I participated in a number of Zoom calls with him where Cynjo and I had to basically browbeat him into advancing our claims, which were the same claims that we used to get Levi Lyon cleared in another LCB case, chiefly that LCB does not have authority to act in a police manner, okay? And Cynjo wants to join us in the litigation, in the federal litigation. Case was dismissed, but if you look at the decision, the court clearly did not read all the stuff that we filed after we filed the complaint. So we're going to redo all of that, folks. Trust me, it'll be ready to go next week. We're about 60% done now. Cynjo wants to be a part of that hearing, of that trial, okay? So after we had these Zoom meetings, and Sam Backman did then represent to her that he was forwarding the information, a draft motion to suppress. He did that, and then now was refusing to give her that file, okay? But that's not the law, all right? So he provided her some law, but the law he provided is presuming that it's a third party who wants that work product, okay? You got attorney-client privilege and work product. They're slightly different, all right? So this work product, though, is not even really his. It's mine. I did it, okay, along with some other folks over the year we've been working together. That's me. And she waived it. All right, so we're not getting to the law. And he specifically wrote, folks, this is what this guy wrote. I'm going to show you the text message to Cynjo, okay? He said, let me read it first. He said, Cynjo, I can send you a copy, but I need to know what it be used for first. I know you're involved in some civil litigation with Mr. King, and if it were used in any way in connection with that lawsuit, then that would be problematic. I'm pretty busy today. I don't have time to make the necessary edits anyway. So for now, if you could just let me know what exactly you'd be using it for, I would appreciate it. Thank you. What? Man, get out of here with that. All right, here it is. This is what he wrote her, okay? All right? So I'm not making this up, okay? Right there. Okay. So if that be the case, then he's already stated that the reason he's not giving up this information is because I'm involved. I'm the troublemaker, okay? Didn't matter I went to the top 50 law school. Doesn't matter that I've helped change constitutional law. Doesn't matter that I've successfully brought civil litigation against police officers and settled them and won criminal trials, civil rights trials. Doesn't matter. He's like, I'm not giving it up because you got Chris King involved. Really? Am I that dangerous? Am I that dangerous? I'm a black man. Apparently so. So this guy is willing to bet that the Washington State Bar, because we're going to file on him tomorrow, he's willing to bet that the Washington State Bar is going to exonerate him for not providing that file, okay? But the problem is, it's in her best interest to get that file to use in a civil litigation with us, with John Novak and me, okay? This is insane. The client's best interests always run paramount. And so now, but when I step into the courtroom, all kinds of crazy things happen, all right? It's like I live in a parallel universe almost, okay? And I'm just doing all this because it's got to get exposed, Hollywood people out here. Let me tell you some of the rules involved. 1.6 of the ABA, the American Bar Association, model rules of professional conduct. D, upon termination of representation, a lawyer shall take steps to the extent reasonably practicable to protect a client's interest, such as giving reasonable notice to the client, allowing time for employment or other counsel, surrendering papers and property to which the client is entitled, okay? You know, that's the first part, but it gets better, though. It gets better. Just hold on, okay? Well, there's some clearer stuff right here. Okay, so in Washington, let's go to Washington, okay, because I lost what I wanted to say there. There's a Washington comment to Rule 1.6, which parallels the federal, right? 2, Washington revision. A fundamental principle in the client-lawyer relationship is that in the absence of the client's informed consent, the lawyer must not reveal information relating to representation. Let me say it again. In the absence of the client's informed consent. I'm sorry, Sam. We've got informed consent all over the place. You know, all the Zoom meetings, I promised him that I would not publish the Zoom meetings, and I may not. At least I'm a man of my word. But the fact is they still exist, okay? And that's proof. It's complete indicia of the fact that there's no problem, okay? She's, you know, she's given informed consent, and this guy is still holding it from her, okay? Unbelievable. Okay. Next, here's an article from Denton's, okay? 2016, disclosing and withholding attorney work product, okay? With respect to requests from a client or a client's new counsel, the issue is fairly straightforward when only pleadings, briefs, and correspondence are sought, okay? It's unbelievable. It's so clear. And I also sent an email to Sam. I had a couple of summaries here that you can see them in the comments there. It says a majority of jurisdictions, including Georgia, have found that a document created by a lawyer belongs to the client who retained her. Swift, Curry, McGee, and Ayers versus Henry, 276 Georgia 571, 2003. As such, clients may argue that they are entitled to any document that a lawyer created during the representation, okay? Georgia cases have recognized certain exceptions to this rule. If the lawyer cannot demonstrate good cause to protect the documents from disclosure, such as when disclosure would violate the lawyer's duty to a third party, where the document assesses that particular client, you know, or when the lawyer's tentative preliminary impressions are documented for the purposes of facilitating the procedure. None of that applies here. None of it. It's unbelievable. And then the ABA rule of under 1.6, former client, the duty of confidentiality continues after the client-lawyer relationship has terminated. That's true. And then it says, see Rule 1.9C2, see Rule 1.9C1 for the prohibition against using such information to the disadvantage of the former client. This is not to her disadvantage. This is to her advantage. Spot the difference. It's that clear. So I'm sitting here thinking, wow, does Sam honestly think that he's got the chops, that the bar will just go ahead and agree with this guy under this circumstance, that he can stare us down and face the adversity of Cynjo and me filing an ethics complaint against him? He's ready to do that because he's a puppet, all right? He's got people up there, high brass, could be all the way from the governor down, because remember, the governor's a named defendant in this litigation in the federal side, okay? He's a puppet. And Sam, I'm sorry, you're a puppet, all right? It's just so unfortunate that this is everything that everybody fears about public defenders, that they will sell them out to the man. And that's exactly what's going on here. She did send me something he wrote back yesterday, and I'm going to take a quick look at it here. But basically, I read it already, and it just, again, it presupposes that it's an adverse party looking for the information, basically, okay? And it says examples of papers that the lawyer need not surrender to the client include, okay, drafts of papers, duplicate copies, photocopies of research material, lawyer's personal notes, okay? But wait a minute. Need not surrender. Really? You're going to tell me that you need not surrender that when it's all over? California has it clear that she's entitled to it. What's the difference here, okay? And this is the kind of thing where it's not a draft of these drafts were created by us on Zoom calls already. All right. The bottom line is, what's the best interest, and why are you doing this, Sam? That's the question. When you know you're not furthering your former client's best interest whatsoever, what you're doing is inimical to her best interests. All right. Even if you had a judgment call to make, you're making the wrong judgment. Why are you making that judgment, Sam? Why? Who's telling you to do that? That's the question. All right. I had one more from California, I think. Yes. Oh, no, actually, this is Washington. Okay. I found another one in Washington. A fundamental principle in the client-lawyer relationship is that in the absence of the client's informed consent, the lawyer must not reveal information relating to the representation. Okay. See Rule 1.AE for the definition of informed consent. Okay. Well, let's take a look at that rule. I mean, pretty much, if we're on Zoom calls together, I want to say that that's informed consent, right? That's what most of us would say, right? So let's take a look at that rule. Come on. E. Informed consent denotes the agreement by a person to a proposed course of conduct after the lawyer has communicated adequate information and explanation about the material risks of and reasonably available alternatives to the proposed course of conduct. Okay. Yeah. F, knowingly, known, or knows denotes actual knowledge of the fact in question. I don't know what to say. It's foul. And oh Lord, I just don't know what to say about all this, guys. It's so deep to see what the state is willing to go through in order to protect what this public defender is willing to do in order to protect the LCB. It's unbelievable. That's some of my buddies have CBD there. Yeah, and so goodness gracious, guys. Goodness gracious. So, we pretty much are ready to file the ethics complaint on him, and it's just going to be interesting to see what the bar does, because they hate me. I've already filed complaints against lawyers, and they just they're all part of the system, they're all part of the establishment, and they do what they can to protect the system, and this includes the heads of the LCB that are being sued in the federal venue. This is going to include the governor and everybody from the top down. So the more they press, the more we press. And this is going to be going to YouTube, and it's going to be circulated. And it's just going to show the fact that you sadly can't trust a public defender. Yeah, at least not that one. Or probably most of them, because when push comes to shove, they're going to bail on you. And they will initiate conduct, and that is not in your best interest. And that's a sad indictment of the American jurisprudential and legal system. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's it, guys. Wow. They wouldn't let Cynjo accept the invite. Hi, Leah. My niece is watching. Yeah, that's funny. They wouldn't let her accept the invite. What's up with that? I'll try it again. Facebook and their bullshit, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, won't let me do it. Welcome to that. Anyway, so that's okay. She's still gonna file, and I think I need to take my puppy for a walk. Is that right? You wouldn't go for a walk, honey? All right, that's what's gonna happen now. Come on, sweetheart, let's go. Man, oh man. Out we go. In the wild blue yonder. Come on, sweetie. Gosh. Man, oh man. It's like a horror movie dealing with these people. It really is. God. Come on. Pepper, we go this way. You know the way. So last night I was out here, and I'm
ran into the folks whose family owns all the acreage down there that's being transformed into a new housing development, like 80 units and stuff. And it's a place I used to ride my dirt bikes, but I found out that it's like a nature preserve, so I had to stop that. Yeah, but yeah, you can see he flew the drone, and you can see where what's developing down there, which is I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, but it is what it is. I'll give you guys a view of my backyard. If you ain't got no money, you can't buy a big ass house with a view. You could move your ass next to a park. You just use that. Yeah. Pepper, come on. Come on, sweetie. Oh, you're such a good girl. I love it. It sounds like a horse going by you, like God. Livy's paws, too. Livy was a little bit heavier. She would run by. It sounded just like a horse. Come on, sweetie. Yeah. Oh, there's a Kitlin. He ain't having it. Oh my gosh, I recognize that kid. I was that kid. I still am that kid. He's like, I don't know, mama. Yeah, so there's a development down there. You can kind of see it. I can't zoom on well, here's another request. This could work. Okay, approve. I approved her. It says it's adding.
Hey,
Connecting. Scott, man. Hi, Cynjo. How are
I'm
you?
here. How are you? Yeah, I tried to blow you up and say check your text because
Good.
I
I'm so glad
actually
I
just
didn't
got an email from Sam right before this happened.
Okay, what are you talking about?
Well, it's in our text, and now that we're hooked up, I don't want to try to, go look for it, but it was in rebuttal to last night's email that I sent him.
Yeah.
So I screenshotted it, sent it to you, and
Okay.
then so it should be in your text right now. So
Right. But what was the gist of it? Because I'll put it in the comments later, but because I can't if I sign out of here.
yeah.
I don't think I can sign. Yeah, I don't think I can sign out of here. Hold on. That there was no authority that you went and you told the LCB about this draft motion, and then they dismissed the case the same way that they dismissed Levi Lyon's case when I said that they would. Okay, because they had no authority. And agent, you know who Agent John Jung is, right?
Yeah,
Cynjo?
that's the guy that I was involved with at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so, are you aware that I took his deposition?
Yes, I was. I think I was actually present for that. I sat in and listened.
Yeah. And are you aware? As a matter of fact, I think we did it live on Facebook. As a matter of fact, that's right. But that'll never happen again. But do you recall him making any opinions as to whether or not he had authority or jurisdiction to start a criminal process against you?
Yeah, I do recall something of that. He basically, if I recall, he says, I may be issued with a gun or whatever, but like I'm not going to do these certain types of things that I should have the authority to based on what it is. Like I don't think that we should be going and doing it. Like I'm simply here for compliance check. Like to me, compliance means like in the store, like regulations with product, not that type of thing. The only time I've ever been involved with LCB, they've came in and like I've had like one prior training at a different store that I used to work at. And he was like, here's this and that, and like this is what you do, this is what you look for, yada yada. None of that ever happened at Euphorium. And as far as compliance on ID checks, I think that's about the only thing I would say, like, okay, with that, yeah, but you shouldn't have the right to criminally pursue if you're not going to take a if you're not going to act like a police officer, don't be going out and criminally pursuing people like you're a police officer. Bottom line.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Bottom line, to be a cop, you got to be a cop. Okay. And I've said this before. It's like, if back when I was an assistant attorney general, if I put a gumball light at the top of my BMW and start driving around and pulling people over and saying, hey, I'm Officer King, give me your weed, bitch. I can't do that. Can't
I
do
mean,
that.
you could, but it
I'm
wouldn't
not
work out
sure.
very well for you.
Yeah, right. And so basically, it's the same thing here, except that the state is complicit. They know, and it's so obvious. They've tried so many times. So many legislative attempts have failed to give them that authority. The federal court, when we go back into that court with you as a plaintiff, they have to acknowledge, for the sake of a pleading, they have to assume the facts to be as the plaintiff alleges them. And that means that they don't have authority. In California, and the court probably didn't listen to this because I submitted it after the complaint, but in California, they publicly stated that they needed to hire more certified peace officers because their agents were not able to commence or to continue criminal actions. There's a separation of powers in this country. You've got legislative, executive, and judicial. All right. The LCB is a limited executive function. They can't self-legislate and make themselves eligible to do things that they're not eligible to do.
Yeah.
And this is important. And I'm sitting there looking at Ian Eisenberg. He's looking at me like I got three heads. And I'm like, no, Ian, what are you talking about? Just because you're, Mr. Big Seven Shop dude, and LCB doesn't really shit on you, it doesn't mean that it's okay. And he's looking at me saying, oh, I think there's more important issues. And I'm like, to whom? To Levi Lyon, who lost his RVs for a year? All right. To whom, dude? It's just unbelievable. And so, and they're also trying to say there's no federal jurisdiction when you've got LCB is involved in a federal asset forfeiture program that's strictly for law enforcement agencies, but they know that they're not a law enforcement agency. And so we want, a declaratory judgment that that's illegal. And I know we're going to face holy hell in federal court, but this is what I went to school for, man. This is it. I was a constitutional, that was my thing.
Yeah.
I worked for one of the best constitutional lawyers in the country, Ted Mearns. Rest in peace, Ted, and your wife. His wife was Mayor of Shaker Heights. We used to call him Mr. Mayor. No, we called him Mrs. Mayor. That's right. We called him Mrs. Mayor.
Mrs. Mayor person. Hi.
But yeah, I clerked for him. I got an A in his class, and this is what I've done. I've been involved in federal litigation before. I've done all this stuff, man. It's not like I don't know what I'm talking about. And they're just trying to act like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. We're staying on somewhere.
Yeah.
Stop,
I mean, it's funny to me that this, like, I went for a criminally pursued, I've had other friends in the industry that have actually, it's the same idea as to what happened. It was one of my old doormen and a bartender that got double whammied. And I thought that they weren't supposed to be able to go back, because this is like the scarlet letter on your vest, like in the industry. Once you get this, you really can't go and, go back to being a bud tender or anything. Well,
right.
I mean, it's not my business. I was never Snoopy. I never asked, but I know this one person for sure ended up going and working at another I-502 store down in Lake City, which was, down in my club era. So they got around with that one.
Come on.
But it makes me think, like, did they go through the criminally pursued or not, or like what happened? And as far as my feelings with this is, like, I had an ex who was a bartender, and he was like, no, like, I had a fellow person, a fellow worker who has, been popped by the LCB like this. And does that mean they don't have jurisdiction in the actual, like, bartending world?
That's something that's beyond my bailiwick right now on as far as the liquor provisions. So yeah, we can talk about that another time.
Right.
But right now, I thank you for showing up and explaining the fact that you expressly waived confidentiality.
Yeah, multiple times. I think I did it like at least like 5 times, like between my first attorney and then when she left, when Sam came on board. I think I did that like 4 or 5 times. And I don't mean to be a dick with it, but it's like, I feel like each time like it happened and we had to give that consent, I feel like it was just, there was no reason for it. It was just to make things harder.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well,
Yeah, I
don't you
agree.
see in my file that I've already like cleared these people? I've already waived my consent. These people are clear to talk to you about my shit. Like, you know, like just come on, like just, you know, stop being a pussy. You know,
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, right?
and you know, it's no nothing against Sam. It's just like if I'm owed these things and it's my legal right, just freaking give me my shit, dude. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm
Pepper's in unison with you. She said, "Just give it up."
right. See, we're not assholes, and I'm not an asshole unless I have to be, and I really don't want to be. So please, just make this
Right.
easier for the both of us. Give me my freaking shit.
Right. And what he's talking about saying, "Oh, that's a different venue. There's different rules in federal court." No, the point is we are showing that they had no authority under the state structure to come at you in the first place, and we're allowed to use that in federal court. You as a pro se litigant, you know, whatever, with John and me, we're allowed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need you to nanny sit me, Sam, and tell me about my file and how this and that and the other, and I'm not licensed to practice in federal court and all that. I don't give a shit about that. Doesn't matter.
No, my shit's gonna be
It's so
helpful to
irrelevant.
you. So just give me my shit as your ex-plaintiff or whatever that, like, you know, because it's all done and over with.
Ex-client, yeah.
Give me my shit so I can take this on and give it to somebody who has a bigger and better thing to do with it and that will actually help and make a difference. Just give me it. What's so freaking hard? Ooh, my name's gonna be in there and they're gonna see that I went against the LCB and the government. Ooh. Like, I mean, seriously, you know how I am. Like, I mean, that's literally how this comes about to me. Is like he just don't want his name getting out there.
Right. Well, his name's gonna be out there, you know. And I'm sorry, bro, but you know, somebody's telling him to do this. He's not doing this on his own volition. I guarantee you that.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, I would think that even with your name getting out there on something that could be so monumental as to what we're going through right now, that's publicity. Wouldn't you want that, like, writing? Like, wouldn't you want to be
but see,
on
remember,
team, like, thumbs up, like, go team, you know, like, instead of fake fuckers over there, you know, like.
Yeah, but see, remember, he's a 2020 graduate too. Okay, so you know he can't. If it were later in his career, maybe he would say, "Okay, wow, Mr. King, thank you for helping me win this case. Now I can say that I was involved in that case on the criminal side, helping to defeat LCB and get this client, you know, get charges dismissed against her. Okay, and yeah, I'm ready to hang a shingle now. Okay, maybe in 2026 he's ready to do that. You know." But he's not ready to do it right now. But that has nothing to do. I don't care.
Maybe he'll have a few more ball hairs and man up by then. Oops.
Love you, Cynjo.
Love you. I can't do the heart.
Like
but here, heart to heart.
Right. You know, tell him it's like this, man. I'm like Toyota. I asked for it. I get it.
Yeah. We're gonna get it. Give me, please.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, I gotta get back to work. I'm gonna finish drafting this complaint, see what he does with you, and then I got a ton of other stuff to do today. But have a great day, kid.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not gonna reply to his email until I fully read it and then kind of get your take on it. Okay. You already know what's going on with me this afternoon, so yeah, just as a heads up. But I'll wait to reply to it. So.
All right.
Cool. Love you long time.
Yeah, I'll wait to hear from. Yeah, we'll talk again before I respond to him.
Yeah. Love you long time. Cheers.
Love you long time. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.